Alright, so let's start talking about data types in Kotlin. So the different data types that we have are numbers, booleans, characters, and strings. The first type we're going to go over are the integer types. So first, let's talk about the byte. This is a data type that is 8 bits and can hold a small number value. So the minimum value is -128 up to 127. I will add a little chart so you guys can see, the different types and the sizes. But a bit is the smallest integer type. And to create one, let's make a file or a variable that is of type val, which means it's not mutable. Let's call it is byte. And we will use a colon to specify the type, which in this case, it is a byte. And we are going to live life on the edge and place the smallest value that a byte can hold, which is -128. Now, if you guys try to go less than that, this is gonna give you a little warning where it says that it's a mismatch. This is really an integer because the range is past what a byte can hold. So you just gotta make sure that if you're gonna use a byte, which is very small, you gotta make sure that you're only going to store a very small number, because if you try to put something bigger than what it is, there will be a problem. So the next one we have is a short type. This is a 16-bit data type, and to make one we're going to use val, which means it's not mutable again, and this is bothering me. All right, and then is short, and we're going to specify that as short, and we're going to make that equal to the max value of short, which is 32,600 or 32,767. If you try to put anything bigger than that, it will also throw an error. So just make sure that you want to hold something that is 16 bits or something that's up to 32,767 or within the range of -32,768, that range of numbers. The next one we're going to go over is an integer type, or int type to be exact. So it's going to be val is int. This is a 32-bit data type. I mean, it can hold a very decent amount of numbers, and we're going to make that equal to, let's make it 1 million. So another way, as the numbers get bigger, another way to specify a number or a big number in Kotlin, to replace commas, you can use an underscore. This will make it more visually pleasing to see. A big number like this, because before it would just be without these underscores, and it just, how many zeros do we have right now? But we can put these underscores to pretty much mimic a comma, and it just makes it, an easier experience. So yes, this is an int. It is 32 bits, and usually if you don't specify a type, if it's within the range, Kotlin will infer an integer to be an int type. So int is the default type for numbers. Now the next one and the last one of the integer type is the long, and this is the biggest type within the integer type. It is 64 bits. It's double of an int. So if you know you're gonna store something of a huge amount, then you use a long. And to do that, you just use the long data type, and then you can place a big number. In this case, we'll put 20 billion, and it can store more than that. So now to specify that this is a long, you need the L at the end of the number to let Kotlin know that this is a long. Now, if we were to use a number that is still within the range of an int, Kotlin will infer this value as a int. If we didn't specify the L at the end, Kotlin would say, okay, this can be an int, so it might be an int. But if we really wanted a long, to make sure that this is a long, you have to put an L at the end. Obviously, if it's out of the range of an int, Kotlin will infer this as a long. But just to be sure, if you know you want a long for sure, just put an L at the end. So these are the 4 integer types. What makes them different is just the range of numbers that they can hold. So you just got to figure out, you know, how big the number you're going to use, or how big can a number get within your application.